Hey folks, welcome back, or of course welcome to Lone Pine Tarot if this is your first time visiting the channel. But either way, thank you so much for choosing to join me for our pick a card reading today, which is all about a mystery message. So basically how this works is after you pick your pile and we get to your reading, we will figure out what the topic is at that point using one of my Lenormand cards. So it's kind of a toss-up. We're just going to see what Spirit / the universe wants you to know most right now. So without further ado, let us choose our piles. We're choosing with 3 different tarot decks today. So for pile 1, over here on the left, your pile leader is the Ostara Tarot. And here is your card, specifically the moon, from your deck. For pile 2, here in the middle, your tarot deck today is the Shadowscapes Tarot. And here is your lovely moon card from your deck. Beautiful. And last but not least, for a wonderful pile 3, very fittingly, for a mystery topic reading, you have the Mystery Tarot, which, if you're familiar with the show Gravity Falls, it is inspired by that. So we have 2 little pigs here. If you're familiar with the show, the pig's name is Waddles, but if you're not, just think, oh, cute pigs, right? So just to reiterate, pile 1, you are Ostara Tarot. Pile 2, you are Shadowscapes Tarot. And pile 3, you are the Mystery Tarot / a Gravity Falls deck, if you prefer. So if you need more time to decide what pile you would like read for you, of course, you're always welcome to pause on this part of the reading. But when you are ready, drop down to the description box below, find the timestamp for your pile / your tarot deck today, and I will see you in our exciting discussion about the mystery message that is calling you. See you in your readings, everyone. Hello there, pile number 1. Welcome to your mystery message reading for today, and as you recall, you were drawn to the beautiful moon card from the Ostara Tarot as your pile leader. Very gorgeous. Now, as we always do when we choose with tarot decks, I'm going to put this right back into said deck. And let's begin shuffling from tarot. So calling on Spirit for the highest best good of pile 1 today. What is it that you want them to know? What's their mystery message? Thank you. Lots of cards are standing out today, so we'll take these. Actually, these 2 wanted to come out together, so we'll draw those. Beautiful. And as I promised in the intro, we also have Lenormand to draw, which will determine the overall topic of your reading today. Let's see here. Oh, actually, we have 2 that just popped out. So we're going to actually take those 2. And for yours, you have both the moon, very fitting because we actually picked with the moon from each tarot deck for our pile leaders today. And then you also have the fox. So an interesting combination. The moon in Lenormand is a bit different from tarot. It tends to represent more the subconscious. It tends to represent our emotions, our feelings about things. And then the fox in Lenormand tends to represent cleverness, being smart about something. So I wonder if your reading today might center around, say, I almost get the feeling that your topic today is technically, I think it's like navigating around an emotion that you've had recently or a sort of subconscious feeling that you've had that you're not sure whether to trust or you're not sure whether is like legit, something along those lines. Of course, your other cards will provide us more detail, but you have a bit more of an intangible type of topic today. I apologize, I keep moving these around. I'm working with a new setup today for those of you who aren't familiar with my videos or haven't seen my channel before, so just kind of learning everything. I always apologize to my pile 1 because you're kind of my guinea pigs when it comes to trying new things, so thank you for being my pioneers. But yes, so subconscious, our emotions, and being clever. Let's look at your tarot cards. We have the Ace of Wands. Interesting. We have the Devil, okay. You might be feeling trapped too in some way. That's kind of what I'm feeling from the Devil having popped out, but we'll see. We have the King of Pentacles reversed. Then we have that is the Eight of Cups reversed. Speaking of emotions, and then we have the Page of Swords reversed. Interesting combination today for you, pile one. And then I'm going to grab your oracle cards as well, and that'll give us the full picture of what's going on here. So first up, we have the Divination. So the way you're feeling about something. And then, let's see what this one says. Time Machine, another chance, more time, or being cautious about something. And then we have your Botanical Inspirations card. Yours is kind of puzzling me today, pile one. It will click at some point, but this one for sure is, not to say a pun like with the title of the reading, but yours is quite a mystery today. And then we have Red Rose, Hidden Secrets. Okay, speaking of it being kind of a mystery, the quote says, 3 things cannot long be hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. Buddha. Very beautiful quote there. What is going on? Cool. And then from the Woodland Warden's Oracle, we have the Horse and Bluebell with Modest Fortitude. And last but not least, well, actually, I'm going to see where that card goes, because our last deck today tends to have cards either in portrait or landscape, so it really depends on which card you get as to where I will place it. But Spirit, what are you throwing our way today for pile one? Interesting combination here. I feel like I'm drawn to this one here. Oh, so we do have a landscape with the Leap, number 16, Ecstasy, Bliss, and Belief. Okay, you know what? I think that finally got the picture to click together. I apologize, pile one. Usually I'm just like, first cards come out, I'm like just babbling off, like things just coming at me so fast. But your reading today, it took a little while to click together. I think what's going on is there's something you're really sure, or you're not sure what to, like how to feel about it. And I say that because not only do we have, say, like the term cautious with the Time Machine card, but we also have, the whole Moon card in Lenormand, as I said before, is about the subconscious. It's about our emotions. How do we feel about something? It can also mean that something's kind of hidden. We're not 100% sure like what it looks like in its full form. And then, of course, the element of the fox in Lenormand tends to represent being clever or sneaky about something. It's something that we don't quite expect. I almost wonder if you're feeling, speaking of sneaky, we have Grunkle Stan here, crotchety, entrepreneurial, and softy. It's like you're not sure how to feel about something, or you're not 100% sure why you feel a certain way about something. It's like an emotion that snuck up on you, or it almost seems like, some of you, it might have even been like some sort of feeling that came on a whim recently, or really soon will. And for a lot of you, I feel intuitively that this might be related to some new venture that you have in the wings. I say that because not only do we have the Leap, which is literally like taking a leap of faith, we're doing something new, and then too with Grunkle Stan, that card, it says entrepreneurial, so it's like starting a business of some sort, plus the Ace of Wands here is the very first tarot card that you received today, makes me think of we're starting something new with a passion of ours, because the Ace of Wands is like new energy in terms of the element of fire, so a passion, some ambition that we have, okay? But I think the problem is you have been bottling it up. You haven't necessarily taken action on it yet. I think you want to, or maybe you're not quite conscious or sure of it yet. Hence all those kind of hidden, sneaky cards. It's like you might have this idea at the very back of your mind, but you haven't really entertained it. You really haven't given it a lot of room to breathe. I say that too because of the Devil card as the recent past. And the Devil is a card of things that are being trapped or bottled or like stuck in a metaphorical jail cell. It's the things that bind us. It's almost like a card of chains. So I don't know why you're afraid of this idea or afraid of entertaining it or why it's been kind of lingering in your subconscious for a while, pile one. I think it's because you're afraid that, like, I don't know, sometimes you get an idea and our first inclination is always to shoot it down. We're like, well, that's kind of stupid. Oh man, that would be so wild. Why would I even try that? Like, that kind of speaking is kind of what I'm hearing. And two, I wonder if a part of you almost feels like this would be such a wild goose chase. Like, this would be so weird and, like, out of left field. Like, I don't even know if I want to go through with this. And two, we even have hidden secrets with the red rose on the right. I forgot about that card as well. It's like, because the quote says, 3 things cannot be long hidden, the sun, the moon, and the truth. You know what it is? And this just clicked. I think you're soon coming to a crossroads where this particular thing can no longer be hidden, or it can no longer be put to the back burner of your mind, so to speak. I think you've just been shoving it away just because of that fear of, well, as I said before, that, oh, it's not going to work. Oh, that's a dumb idea. Oh, I don't know if I should, even say it out loud what this thing is that I might want, or kind of wild idea I had, because what if people make fun of me, or, what if people think it's ridiculous, or whatever reason you have that you've been kind of tamping this down. The universe is basically telling you, pile one, you're not really going to be able to hide that any much longer, and I don't know exactly why. I want to say because of the King of Pentacles reversed in the middle, I think something might come up with your career or regarding like your job where you're allowed more time to maybe even entertain this other thing, or you're allowed more room to entertain this other thing. I wonder if, for those of you like, you know that this thing that you've been kind of putting on the back burner or ignoring, so to speak, like, some of you, it could be that it is related to work, in which case it's like your responsibilities open up to allow this thing. Or maybe someone got wind of it that has the ability to say, hey, we're actually going to entertain your idea. Go for it. For some of you where like you already know this is related to your career. For those of you that are like, yeah, there's no way this is related to like my main job. For some reason, I almost think the universe is going to kind of push you towards it anyways. It's that thing where, I don't know, this is really weird. I'm going to use the Doctor Who reference for a second. Forgive me for those of you that are like, oh, I've never seen that show. To be fair, I haven't really watched a lot of it myself, but I do remember there's one episode that I've seen with Doctor Who before where, I think they're called the Weeping Angels. They're these statues that, like, when you look at them, they don't move. But then whenever you turn around or blink, they'll move when they're not being looked at. So this is, I mean, that's kind of a scary thing. They're kind of creepy in the show, but this is kind of what I'm seeing as like the symbolism of this thing that's kind of creeping up on you in a good way. I see a good thing coming out of this, because I think the reason why the universe is pushing you towards this, even if you might be ignoring it or kind of just trying to avoid it or just not giving it enough time of day, is because of the next 2 tarot cards. So the first one that is in the near future is the 8 of Cups reversed. And pile 1, that tends to represent an energy where we need to, or are being encouraged to, move emotionally past something, but for whatever reason, we're kind of stuck on this thing in the past. This push from the universe in this direction is something that will help you finally overcome the wound of this emotional pain, or will help you finally like move on from whatever this thing in the past was that you're emotionally attached to that is no longer serving you. Okay. And I almost kind of wonder if that's where the moon and the fox from your Lenormand cards are coming back into play again, because remember what I said about the moon, it's about your feelings, your subconscious, and then the fox is about being clever or sneaky. So I think it's like Spirit almost saying too, we're going to help you with your emotions on something in a sneaky way that you don't expect. Now, of course, some of you might kind of bite your nails a little bit. You're like, oh, I don't know if I really, but I promise you it's a good thing I'm seeing for you, pile one. It's not a bad thing. This is actually probably the best scenario that could have happened, because I do feel like, especially just because of the leap, ecstasy, bliss, and belief, when it comes along, you might have an initial feeling of like, oh man, I kind of don't really want to go in that direction. I don't really know if that's what I want to do, but just know that should you entertain it, should you go with it, when I think, most of the time in life, I think we have free will, but this is one of those situations, pile one, where I feel like you are kind of, as I said, the universe is kind of pushing you towards it. It's kind of like, okay, it's that idea of, like when we, what's the best way to put it? Oh, like when a bird is trying to push its young out of the nest. You're like the young chick in the nest, and the universe is like the parent bird behind you going, okay, now fly. But in a good way. It's, I don't know, I just see a lot of blessings coming out of this. I think really what's stopping you right now, pile one, is your lack of belief in yourself. I think I think that's really what's behind it all. I don't think you believe in yourself and that you could do it. So the universe is like, okay, well, you might not believe in yourself, pile one, but we're going to make you do it anyways. Because we believe in you, and we know that you can do it, and we know that this is a better path for you. And you know what? It's interesting, too, because of Time Machine, another chance, more time, and then looking at the Grunkle Stan card, too. See, that's the thing with Grunkle Stan, and this is why I love using decks from pop culture, which I know some of you might not be familiar with Gravity Falls, so I'll just kind of explain the character of Grunkle Stan to you. So I promise you it's relevant to what your reading is today. So Grunkle Stan he became entrepreneurial it was not really out of choice. His life kind of pushed him towards, well, he was a con man at first. Well, I guess he always was a con man, a grifter, I guess you would say is the other term, but he didn't choose his path in life based on really what he had desired. He had been pushed into being an entrepreneur because of other circumstances, without, of course, going into a whole story synopsis, because this is a pick a card reading. But that's what I mean, is in how it relates to your particular story with this is I think you're kind of the same. It's that this really is more out of circumstances rather than but it's good. It's good. And then we have the Page of Swords reversed at the end here. I almost wonder, too, if... because the Page of Swords reversed tends to be someone who is either, like, a youthful air energy. So that might be you, pile one. I don't know if you're an air sign or have, like, a lot of air placements in your chart. It can also represent a time where we feel like things are moving too fast for our mind to catch up. It's like we want to explore something, but it's like, oh God, here it goes. Like kind of almost like a tornado coming or like really fast wind, because, it is the element of air being a sword suit card in tarot. And out of the 4 pages, the quickest one, just like the Knights, is the Page of Swords. So I know it'll be kind of scary at first. I know it will be very sudden, but I think Spirit wants to reach out to you today with this particular pile message because they don't want you to be scared at the time it comes along, all right? And then the Horse and Bluebell with Modest Fortitude. If they have any piece of advice for you when this comes along, it would be just tackle it slow and steady. Don't rush things. That's another warning that the Page of Swords reversed can mean too. But just like the Horse and Bluebell, it means modest fortitude. As long as you do your best and as long as you take it at a steady pace, you'll just come through fine. In fact, I almost wonder if some of you have already had this situation happen, like this really quick being thrust into something that was completely out of left field. And in which case, that's your advice for right now. But for those of you that aren't sure and you're like, oh, this hasn't really happened yet, just know in the future when that time comes along that that's your advice, okay? And also, too, I want to ask one last final question for you, Pile 1. I almost want to know, like, what this push is towards. For a lot of you, intuitively, I feel like it's something more independent, or, like, as the Grunkelstein card says, entrepreneurial. But I want to know for sure, because a lot of you that are not already at this point yet, you're probably like, okay, well, what the heck is this? So, Spirit, could you tell us, just as the final question for Pile 1 today, a little bit more about, like, what this is tangibly? What are they being pushed towards? We know why. We know it's good for them in terms of their heart and in terms of their emotions, but what is it really? We have the Chariot, which is literally the card of being driven forward or driving forward towards something. Nice pun, Spirit. That's funny. And then we have the Justice reversed card. I wonder... It's something to do with righting a wrong. It's something to do with black and white logical thinking as well. I wonder if some of you already work in the legal field or are related to the legal field in some way with your career already, or if not, that's kind of the direction you're being pushed towards. Because the Chariot, especially this particular depiction of it being, the black and the white horse on a chessboard, it's that black and white thinking. Even the Justice is blind kind of phrase comes up here, not only with, I believe that's Mot from Egyptian mythology. She's got a blindfold around her head as she's weighing the heart versus the feather. And then also even the Chariot figure here has his eyes completely closed and covered with that hood. So something that requires impartiality, something that requires being blind in some way. And I mean that in terms of objectivity. So it's something about that. Making things right again, making things fair and just, and pushing things along within that system, because that's another meaning of the Chariot, is about driving things forward, things having momentum and having control over something again. So it could also be that, for those of you where you're recognizing that this is a part of the job that you already have right now, that there's something in your department or in your company that's been kind of chaotic lately that feels like it's getting off the rails. That also might be another indicator that that's where you're being pushed towards. Because as I said, the Chariot, just like the charioteer grabbing the reins, it's like grabbing control over something. So I know when this time comes along, you might feel unsure. You might feel like, I'm not good enough for this. You might feel like, I'm not sure how to feel about this. I don't know. I feel like it's more independent, or it's along the lines of something that I haven't done before. All those insecurities might crop up, but Pile 1, Spirit is saying you're going to do just fine with it. That's why they wanted to reach out to you today, because when it comes along, they want you to be able to take those metaphorical reins and know that you're going to do just fine. Okay, so it's very natural to feel kind of confused. It's very natural to feel as if, especially when sudden things come in life, we're kind of like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, whoa, Nelly, what's going on? Hold on. Pause. Breaks. That's okay. Take as much time as you need with it, just as Modest Fortitude tells you to, okay? But just know that it's really a gift from the universe in some way that you're not necessarily expecting, even if at the time it feels kind of scary or very new to you and you're just unsure. So feel that feeling. Feel unsure. That's okay. It's very normal to kind of be anxious or unsure about something when something comes completely out of left field, but just know in the end that it is very good for you. Also, there is a synchronicity here I want to mention at the very end of your reading. You do have a lot about horses. You have, of course, the horse in your Woodland Warden's Oracle here with the blue bell. You also have the 2 horses in the Chariot, and I don't think I see any others. I mean, your King of Pentacles is technically, he has deer antlers, which is, not the exact same animal. So far, I think horses might be a synchronicity, like the only synchronicity symbol. I can't talk today. The only synchronicity of symbolism, there you go, I got the words out, that you want to look for, okay? So just don't be afraid. Take it slow and you'll be just fine. I promise you. And that's what Spirit is also promising you today. So know that good things will come of it. Beautiful. So that was your mystery topic message for today, pile 1. I hope it didn't scare you too much. I hope you're not like, oh God, what is this thing coming? Because really that's why Spirit wanted you to hear this today, is because they don't want you to feel afraid in any way. They want you to see it as the gift from the universe that it is. So I hope that the message, of course, as I always say, helped you, that you liked it, that it resonated. And if so, you know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much if you choose to do any one of those 3 things. And thank you for listening today, of course, as well. And in our tradition on Lone Pine Tarot, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, pile 1, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 2. Welcome to your mystery topic message for today. Thank you so much for being here. And as you recall, you were drawn to the Shadowscapes Tarot as your pile leader deck for your message. But as we always do when we choose with our decks, I like to put the main card back into it so it's available for the message as we draw your spread. So first we're going to start off with drawing your tarot cards. And as I promised in the intro too, we will draw the Lenormand to be the kind of topic decider for today's mystery topic. So calling on Spirit for a wonderful pile 2. What do you want them to know? Hopefully something exciting or good news, right? And let's see here. There's number 5. Beautiful. And then let's get your Lenormand on the table as well. Spirit, can you tell me what area of pile 2's life you want to talk about today with these cards? Thank you. And I'm actually going to draw 2. Beautiful. Okay, well, let's look at the Lenormand first. So right up to bat, we have the man and the ring. So this could be multiple things. Of course, literally, the man in Lenormand can represent a literal physical man. It can also represent the actions or the qualities associated with masculinity. So for some of you, this might literally be a male person that we're talking about today, but it could also mean something that you're doing that is about taking action or taking like authority in some way. And then the ring in Lenormand tends to represent a promise of some sort or an agreement. So it's an agreement you have with a man or an agreement that you made recently or will soon that is, or excuse me, it could also be a promise that is related to like you taking action or control or authority over something. We'll see, of course, more with your other cards, the full picture, but that is, at least from the Lenormand today, the first glimpse into what your reading is about. So that agreement could be something related, of course, to business. It could literally be like a marriage proposal too. That's literally what the ring in Lenormand often represents as well, because literally, you know, at least traditionally, a ring is associated with marriage. But let's keep going. Let's keep seeing what comes up. So first up, we have the 6 of Swords. And then we have the King of Cups. I think for those of you that this is a tangible man or masculine figure that you are recognizing with this or it's resonating with, they probably are a water sign or have a lot of water placements in their chart because of that King of Cups that popped out. Then we have the 5 of Wands reversed. Then we have the Page of Wands. Could also be a fire sign is involved with that. And then we have the Queen of Cups reversed. Okay, another water sign. Beautiful. Interesting spread. I'm going to keep looking it over as I draw your oracle cards today. Lots of water and lots of fire. We have 2 wands, we have 2 cups. Tends to represent matters of both the heart and our relationships as well as what we're passionate about because of that elemental distribution. Then your first divination is the rip-offs, which is literally like a Band-Aid brand. Fictional one. Short term, needs work, rash-free. Short term or needs work. Okay, maybe you're trying to improve something? Then the second one is, we have the character Mabel, okay. And if you're not familiar, this is a Gravity Falls deck. If you're like, who's that character? Which is boundless imagination, romantic, and energetic. Yes, so I think a lot of you, this might be with a relationship you have romantically with a masculine figure. might not apply to all of you that way. These are general readings, so everything's going to be a bit different for everyone watching this particular pile today. But at least because of, the promise, the ring, the man, and then, of course, romantic with the Mabel card, especially, too, with all the cups cards you have, I think it might be romantic, or it could also be a really close platonic relationship of some sort you have with a man, or it could also be like a business partner of some sort. Although I don't see any Pentacles cards, so that tends to tell me this maybe not is related to business, but we'll keep going. We'll see. And I almost wonder if a lot of you have been having issues with this man recently. Then we have Dahlia with dignity. A wise man has dignity without pride. A fool has pride without dignity. And that is a quote from Confucius. Very beautiful card, the Dahlia. Love those flowers. The Dahlia. Actually, we're going to put Mabel above the Dahlia for clarity. Wonderful. And then let's look at your Woodland Warden's Oracle. Then we have, the spider. And the passion flower, once again, something we're passionate about, with creative ingenuity. Being creative about something, okay. And once again, we're going to flip-a-dip those around. And then last but not least, we have the Oracle of the Hidden Worlds. Oracle of the Hidden Worlds. Well, this one for sure is standing out. And we have, landscape one. Number 40, The Secret with the Unknown, Mysteries, and Wonders. Fascinating combination of cards today, pile two. So yes, a relationship with a man, a promise, an agreement. And based on your tarot cards, I feel like this is a man or masculine figure, if you're recognizing that as a person that is someone from your past. I say that because in the very beginning of your tarot spread, you have the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords, my friends, tends to represent a time when we have moved beyond something, or we have moved to greener pastures, or we needed to at some point in the past. So I feel like it's like you already moved on, at least in some way, but there's still some lingering things related to this person. And I think, as I said before, they're probably a water sign because of that King of Cups being the one masculine card we have here. And a King of Cups can mean someone that is either related to the theme of emotional maturity, or they have emotional maturity in some way, or that might have been like the main issue that we had, or that you had with them, as to why you might have kind of left this person in your past. We also have the Five of Wands reversed. And the Five of Wands reversed represents a time where egos and willpower have been put down and we stop fighting over something, okay? So I think that's another factor for those of you recognizing this as a person, where you, like the fighting or the argument finally just came to a stop. And I think it might have been because... yeah, it's like you moved on, and same thing too with the ripoffs. It's like it's short term, or like it needed work. But I almost wonder if you have some sort of like lingering doubts around it. You have some lingering feeling of like, should I have left? Or if you know for sure that you should have left this person or kind of distanced yourself from them, it's still, there's some aspect of it where you're like, I don't know the answer to one particular question I have. Like, why did they do something? Or what was the reason for XYZ thing that they said or they did? And I say that because of the secret too, with the unknown and mysteries and wonders. So I think really what it is or what your mystery topic truly is about today is answering that question you have about this person. It could also be, for those of you that you're not recognizing this as like a romantic partner, it could potentially be that like maybe this was a business partner that had, you know, come up to you and said, hey, I have this idea, you want to work together on it, and like you had kind of left it in the past. You're like, I don't really know, I think I'm going to pass that up. But some of you might have had like a lingering question of like, well, was that a good idea to leave that behind or to like turn them down? And then for those of you, the same thing, or if it's not a person that you recognize and you feel like the Lenormand man card more is about, say, something that you've been wondering about recently that is related to, you know, you taking action on something, but you're just kind of not sure about one aspect of it, or you're not sure you should take that action, or same thing too, like taking control over something, authority, leadership, those qualities. It's like your question or your mystery in that case would be surrounding asking a question of, what's the best way to put it? Say, sorry, I'm just trying to think of the right thing. So yeah, so if it's like you recognize that card more as less a person and as like, oh, I'm going to take action towards something, it's like you trying to figure out like, well, how do I do that? Or there's some factor here that I need to know before I take that action. Okay. That's what I was trying to get out before my mind was blanking on how to explain it. I don't know what that is. All right. So the answer then, my friends, and I'll try to interpret it for each possible scenario. So we kind of have 3 groups today. We have, if this is a romantic partner you left behind, or a business partner you left behind / maybe friend, or if this is something that you want to take action on, but you want an answer to something before you take that action. Okay, so let's split that into 3. The answer then is, I'm going to draw some extra cards on that, but I do know that the Page of Wands reversed and upright, and then the Queen of Cups reversed play a part. I think if this is a romantic relationship that you have been wondering something about, they wanted to explore more with something regarding their passions or something that they were ambitious about because of the energy of the Page of Wands. But the problem is that with the Queen of Cups reversed, they weren't really following their heart. Okay, so for example, if this is a romantic relationship thing for you, really what was going on in that case is that, like, say you were having problems in the relationship and you weren't sure what was causing, like, what they were doing. Really what it boils down to in a quick answer is they were exploring more on what fired them up and what made them passionate rather than what was actually, like, the true deep-seated, like, emotionally mature reason deep down, or, like, what their heart actually wanted deep down. It almost kind of seems like they were chasing maybe more, like, short-term pleasure rather than, like, long emotional attachment. Especially because we do have the word short-term with the rip-offs. It's like they wanted something maybe more short-term, but they weren't really thinking it through from, like, an emotionally mature perspective. Same thing, too, if this is, like, like a business partner relationship or like a friendship related thing, if this is more platonic for you, pile 2, then the answer to your question surrounding that is kind of similar but made less romantic. So just to explain with an example, it could be, you know, potentially maybe like, you know, maybe you wanted to be a business partner with them and they passed you up, or vice versa, they asked you and you passed them up and you're like, wow, was that really a good idea? I think the answer is it would have not lasted very long anyways. I don't think it would have been a venture that would have... It wasn't really fully thought out, and I think maybe that's why a lot of you kind of initially were like, I don't know about this, because of that emotional immaturity here and the lack of, like, long-term feeling with this. And also just, there was a lot of passion behind it. I think this other person, like, they had the right passion for it, or say if it was you who had... introduce the idea to someone else. You had the right idea for it in terms of the passion, but the problem I think was it, once again, it wouldn't have lasted very long. Okay, and I think that is why you sort of dodged it from, like, a fate or like universe spiritual perspective is because it's like the universe knew that that really wasn't like a long-term solution for you, okay? I guess that can also apply to if this is romantic. For those of you where it's like you're wondering, okay, what do I do with something that I want to take action on, but I want more clarity on something before I go forward with that authority and that thing that I want to do, then your answer in that case, so this is the third group. I apologize for everyone, we're like splitting it to groups, but I just want to make sure that the reading is helpful to everyone. But yeah, for those of you where you're in that third group, then the taking action, it's more along the lines of you either need to put more planning and thought into it and think about it in the long term rather than thinking about, well, this is just the thing that makes me very energetic and excited, and that's good. It's good to have that sort of fuel behind an action being taken, pile 2, because you need that fire, like the Page of Wands, in order to spur something on. You want to be excited, you want to be passionate about it, but sometimes we get so passionate and like excited about things, we don't really think of, well, what's the long-term plan for this, rather than like the initial like quick fire Mercury fast, oh, this is exciting, so like I'm gonna just book off into this direction. So your answer is like you need to plan something out more, okay? So hesitate away from impulsivity and lean more into, like, say if it's like a new business, as an example, is your idea, then that would be keep your excitement alive, yes, but actually create like a full-on business plan. What is my target market? What is my branding going to be? What is my final vision for where I want this to go? Okay, think long-term and like bird's eye view rather than short-term and like what's right in front of you, okay? That, or if it's like you're warning about someone else's role in this thing that you, like you're kind of wondering that before you take action, that's kind of the answer as to like their role or like what they're doing or the thing maybe that you're confused about with them. It's something along those same lines. Okay, so just kind of interpret what I took and said about that to that person involved then, okay? So kind of long-winded. I apologize once again to everybody. Like, whew, that is a very, very long answer because there's so many groups I'm seeing with this particular pile. I'm very curious. I actually wonder if this might be the most clicked on pile for today's video. That tends to happen, I've noticed. Like, I'll look at my analytics and the piles where it's like there's so many different interpretations. I feel like those tend to be the most like busy piles in terms of like who clicks on that pile. So I do see that. Also, oh my god, I completely forgot about your spider and passion flower, about like creative ingenuity. That's another thing, is I think there is another solution here, especially for those of you that this is like a business or like idea action related thing. There's another solution that the universe wants you to find because of your creativity and ingenuity before you go forward. Especially for those of you that have been seeing a delay of some sort. You're like, well, why is this thing delayed? Or why is this thing, like, we're not going forward yet? It's because there's something, like, that's a really good idea that they want you to find before you go full forward ahead with that. And that even kind of reminds me, too, of, and I apologize, some of you aren't familiar with Gravity Falls, but this does play into how I interpret, like, the Gravity Falls deck. So, like, this one, for example, like, this was an invention by one of the characters, the Band-Aids that are called rip-offs, right? Which they were literally rip-off, because that was the pun, but, like, literally it needed work. It was not very well invented. It was not very well designed, hence the term short-term with this particular card. So I think, too, for any of you that are working on a project right now, and you're like, well, I don't know, I'm just not confident in it, I'm not sure about it, I'm not sure, like, what to do or where to go yet. Your hesitation is because there is more work or there is more thinking and creativity that needs to be put into something, especially where it comes to making it last or work long term before Spirit / the universe is, like, asking you to go ahead with it, okay? So that's another message coming through. And then I will draw just one more card on the Dignity card. Spirit, can you tell me more about Dignity? That'll be like our last card for today. I'm curious. We have the Ten of Wands reversed, releasing a burden on ourselves. Oh, okay, that's another thing. So I don't know how this will apply to every single of the 3 groups today. So just take what I say right now and apply it to your situation, no matter what of the 3 groups you're in, or which of the 3 groups you're in, I should say. But there's something here too about needing to release a burden so that you can walk with greater dignity. I think there's some aspect to the situation where if you aren't free of the burden involved in whatever is going on in your situation, it will make it so that it's harder for you to walk through this particular situation or project thing, etc., with grace and with dignity. Okay. So that might be another reason as to why there's hesitation or why things have been waiting, or like why something happened. It was like releasing a burden of some sort. Or for those of you especially where this is a romantic thing, the first group I mentioned, basically you walking away was a really good idea because it released a burden on you and you were able to walk away with dignity intact. Okay, so for those of you in that first group, it's a little bit of a different message. But for those in the other 2 groups, business, the action that you're wanting to take but you wanted to know more about before you did, release your burdens a little bit as much as you possibly can before you do this. Okay, or, as I said too, with the business idea, long-term plan as much as you can, so that it makes it easier on you and like releases your burdens now rather than having to figure it out down the road when you're already like neck deep in a lot of work. Okay. Lots of different groups today. It's kind of all over the place. I apologize if some of you were like, what's going on? But there's just so many messages that were just coming through from this entire pile. There were so many different particular interpretations that I felt were intuitively popping through. So I hope that helped you guys. I hope that at least some of this resonated. If you did like it, if it did help you and it did resonate, of course, please, like the video, please comment, please subscribe, all that good stuff. As my main goal with my readings every single time is that you walk away at least feeling like you have one extra tool in your toolbox to face life the next day. So beautiful. Trying to think if there's anything else here that I missed. I believe that's everything. Yes. Okay. All right, pile 2. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 3. Welcome to your mystery topic message for today. And of course, as you recall, you were drawn to the Mystery Tarot as your deck of choice. So, very cute. Even if you're not familiar with Gravity Falls, I promise it is a very light, kind of bright, cartoonish deck. Fun for everybody. My personal favorite deck for the day. So, thank you for choosing pile 3. You have good taste, pile 3. So, calling on Spirit today for their mystery message. What do you want them to know? What is it that pile 3 needs to know today? And then, of course, when we're done with the tarot here, we'll draw the Lenormand, as I promised in the intro. And the Lenormand will be really good about giving us like an overall area of your life that this reading is about. So, beautiful. And then, Lenormand. So the area of their life spirit that this is about. Maybe 1 or 2 cards. So this one for sure. And that one. Okay, so let's look at the Lenormand first, because that will really set the tone and the topic. We have the stars. And the anchor. Okay, so the stars in Lenormand tends to represent a goal that we have in mind. As you can see, this man on the boat, he's navigating and he's looking at literally Polaris. So it's like, I have my eyes set on a certain goal that I want to achieve or reach. That's the overall feel of the star. And then the anchor in Lenormand is about stability with something. So for a lot of you, I feel like this message is about either you seeking stability in some way. I don't know if recently you have had a problem with like, finances, resources, or even emotional related issues, relationship related issues that have threatened a stability of some sort. Or it could also be that some of you, this applies in the way of you seeking stability or safety or safe harbor, those kinds of things that, like, you're not sure how to, like, get there, or you need some advice on the way there towards this stability. Okay, let's see, of course, what your tarot cards say, too. That will give us even more context for what's going on, especially the first few cards or so. So this one is the Devil in most decks. It's called the Cipher in the Gravity Falls deck. The Devil reversed specifically. Yes, so freeing ourselves from something, wanting to be freed, wanting to be let go of. Then we have another same character, but this is the Five of Swords. So conflict, fighting in some way. It could also mean like a verbal battle of some sort, because it is the air card, being a swords card in tarot. Then we have that is the Six of Pentacles reversed, something not being fair. God, I don't know if some of you recently had a job that you left because it wasn't very fair to you, or there's a situation that hasn't been very fair to you that you have been trying to escape. You do have this Pentacles card that came up, which does tend to represent resources, job, career-related things. Then we have the Page of Swords. Page of Swords is sometimes a person, can represent that, or it can also represent a situation where we have like we're exploring something in terms of how do we logically pursue this, or how do we learn something new about this particular situation. And then we have, last but not least, the Four of Wands reversed. So speaking of like stability, this is very similar to the Anchor in Lenormand, because, well, at least upright, the Four of Wands is about, numerology-wise, 4 is like a number of stability, okay? Things being safe and sound. Reversed, it's like something's kind of out of alignment and we're trying to seek that stability. Okay, so pretty clear picture. Actually, out of all the piles today, pile 3, you are the most direct and the most like your, I guess what I'm trying to say is like your particular topic is like the most tangible thing. Pile 1 and pile 2 today were very more intangible types of topics. So yours is about like more of a physical thing going on, I feel like. Look at your oracle cards too. So going along with the Gravity Falls deck, we have an oracle from Gravity Falls, the Haunted Mirror, ensnaring, revelatory, and rights wrongs. Yes, okay, that's that unfairness I was seeing there with the Six of Pentacles reversed. Ensnaring, revelatory, and rights wrongs. Something in the past. That's kind of, if you're not familiar with Gravity Falls, this is the context, is that was from an episode where something really bad had happened in the long past, and it was about a character trying to like make up for it, I guess, is kind of the theme. So that makes me think once again of that Six of Pentacles and the balloon. For those of you that haven't watched the show, you're like, what is this? I eat kids. It's even hard to explain having watched the show itself. We'll just go into the meaning. It says misplaced efforts and memorable. Okay. Trying to do something, but a misplaced effort, something that was memorable. Okay. And then, from the Botanical Inspiration, Spirit, anything else? What else do you want to say to pile 3 today? We have the card, or the Flower of Tulip. Friendship and gratitude. Let us be grateful for the people who make us happy. They are the charming gardeners who make our souls blossom. From Marcel Proust. Tulip. Friendship and gratitude. I wonder if for some of you, like, a friend is involved with this, or it could also mean, too, that, like, you thought someone was a friend to you, but it turns out they were unfair in the end. Let's keep going. Then we have the Bobcat and the Blackthorn with Patience. And actually, another card really wanted to pop out here, as you can see. So I'm going to draw that one. I do apologize if it does cover the others. But, the Salamander and Black Pepper with Inspiration. So Patience and Inspiration are those two cards. Patience and inspiration. And then your last oracle today. Spirit, what's the last thing you want to say to pile 3? Okay. We have a landscape. We have 37. Oh, we have the mirror come up again. Because you had the haunted mirror over here, remember, from the Gravity Falls deck. But then you have it in the Hidden Worlds Oracle, too. And it says, other lives, past lives, and dimensional lives. So, and the past, too, is brought up as well. For sure, pile 3, this is about something from your past that you escaped from. I think you're already at the point where you have walked away from it, or you're very close to that precipice. And I think that's really what's spurring you on now that you're past that particular area or time of your life, is this new goal that you have in mind, away from instability and more towards greater stability. Okay. I think what happened in the past is, for some of you, it could have been that there was a friend involved, or if not a friend, at the very least, it was someone who you like trusted and you thought had your back. Or if it was like, say, a job related thing, it could have been like a boss or a manager that you're like, oh, I thought they had my back, or you thought like just the people there in general had your back. But because of all these kind of negative cards at the very beginning, you know, the Devil reverse, meaning freeing ourselves, the 5 of Swords, which is like conflict. And that's, I just noticed this too. And once again, this is what I love about pop culture decks, is that having watched the show, it gives it even deeper meaning. Literally, these 2 figures here in the 5 of Swords, they were buddies at one point, and then one betrayed the other. And then they had, like, a rivalry for, like, 3 decades. So it's, like, that, once again, that idea of, like, there was someone that we trusted, and they stabbed us in the back, or they weren't who we thought they were. That's very common with these, like, 2 characters. And then, as I said, with the 5 of Swords, that's, like, a conflict of some sort of, you know, our ideologies didn't match up, or we didn't agree on the same ideas, or we even maybe literally had a verbal battle of some sort, because it is an air card, which is about like communication in tarot. And then we get on to the 6 of Pentacles reversed, is like the heart of the matter here. This is the card of something is unfair in terms of resources. So I almost wonder too if the betrayal, so to speak, and this is maybe why you're seeking stability here with the Lenormand card, is because either like this friend had like taken money from you, or maybe like they were unstable themselves and you were like, I need to get away from that energy so that I can gain greater stability myself away from this person. Or if it's like a job related thing that this more resonates with you with, pile 3, that could also mean that maybe like you weren't getting paid what you were supposed to, or not enough for what you were doing. There's just some sort of unfairness here in terms of like the distribution of wealth. And I think you're still maybe looking back at this situation a little bit in terms of, I don't know, I almost feel maybe there's a bit of an anger there, because I feel like you have not really ever gotten either closure or at the same time the actual like recompensation that you were supposed to be given for whatever this was, even if it's in terms of an apology. So like literally a verbal compensation of some sort, or it could literally be actual tangible like money that you were owed, okay, or someone's time, or whatever other resource you might be able to like apply to the situation. So yeah, so Spirit is basically reaching out to you today to not only help you with advice in terms of reaching that stability away from this kind of negative influence that we were talking about, however it applies to you, or however it kind of cropped up in your life, and more towards a place in life where you do feel like people are more grateful for you, or like there's more gratitude, like your Tulip card says, for what you have done, where you're appreciated more. And same thing too with something that provides you that greater stability that you didn't have in the past. I really think if you're not quite sure exactly like where to point your internal compass, so to speak, like you're like, I'm not sure what goal to go for, or like I'm not sure where I'm going to find this stability, then your answer from Spirit today, pile 3, is something along the lines of where your mind and your capability for creating new ideas meets your passion with the inspiration card here. Okay, so I don't know if some of you recently have had an idea in mind or something that you're really passionate about that you like, I almost feel like it kind of came up out of nowhere. And I think for some of you, this is really odd, but this is what I'm seeing with all the mirror symbolism that came up, and just not just one card, but 2 cards today. I almost wonder if some of you came up with the idea or it struck you right when you were like getting ready in the morning or when you were like looking in the mirror. I feel like for some of you that's how that applies, and that might be kind of a hint as to what particular idea that spirit is referring to. So think back to, you know, when you have been getting ready in the mornings or like the last time you were looking in the mirror. What ideas came to mind at that time? Okay. That, or it could also mean with the abundance of mirrors, that it's a bit of a hint towards something related to the symbolism of mirrors. So, like reflecting back on things. It could also be a goal in terms of, I mean, we associate mirrors with like beauty. I don't know if maybe you have like a beauty business idea. That could be for some of you too, as one thing. But you're being encouraged to try the new. You're being encouraged to go in that direction with whatever that idea was, okay? Because the Page of Swords in the near future position here, a Page of Swords, as I said, is someone who's exploring a new idea. They're learning new things, too. Out of all of the different pages in tarot, the Page of Swords is probably the most studious because they are like an air sign. You might even be an air sign pile, number 3, which, hello, if you are Gemini here, but... And as you all know, air signs are very, you know, they tend to be more, they like intellectual stimulation. They're sometimes more academic. Sometimes they're more communicative and outgoing and social and those things. And all the ways that the air element plays a role in our life with those areas. So it could also mean that this goal that you're being encouraged towards, this new dream perhaps, is like through like speaking to people, or it's like a job or passion goal that's related to maybe even going back to getting education or schoolings, things like that. Or maybe if you haven't had a degree yet for the first time, not just going back to, either way, like just think about studious, mentally, intellectually stimulating pathways too. That's another thing that you're kind of being encouraged towards here. And I think that's where you'll find the appreciation and the stability that you're looking for, okay? Because as we see in the end here, we have the 4 of Wands reversed. And right now on the path you're on, it's like you are still, I think, in that phase of being unappreciated or underappreciated and, like, as I said, lacking that stability. But, like, should you take this advice into account with future cards that are reversed, I tend to see those as things that can be righted. It doesn't mean that the timeline is like set in stone. So at the end of this reading here, I almost want to draw extra cards on maybe more hints about where this is, like you're being nudged towards. We do have the Patience with the Bobcat and the Blackthorn. I think that might be related to if you already kind of know what goal you have in mind here, and there's been an element of waiting. Your spirit guides are basically saying that the reason why you've been waiting is because it's like a divine timing related thing. Like maybe you're trying to figure out like, well, when's the best time to launch this thing, or when's the best time to pull the trigger on getting going on this. They're saying to really embody the quality or the trait of patience with this. Okay. Doesn't have to be immediate. Doesn't have to be right now. So that's another thing too. Like maybe you're kind of worried because you're like, oh man, should I jump on this right now? And you might feel later to yourself like, oh, I feel so guilty because I didn't jump on that, you know, immediately when I had the idea. Or like you're kind of maybe wondering about timing. Patience is your friend, I guess is what I would say in general. So yeah, let's draw some more tarot cards about more like advice and like where this is going. So Spirit for pile 3, could you tell me more about like where is this going? What is it tangibly? I know for every single one of you it's going to be different, but just general ideas. And then too with the mirror, I was just thinking of this as well, this particular card. I think you might have actually done this in a past life too. I think it might be related to a soul lesson or a life lesson you have in this lifetime. That is like a continuation of what you were learning in that particular past life where you did the same thing. So for those of you that have explored past lives of yours, like you've done past life regressions, for an example, that would be a really good avenue to explore, like to recall those and be like, well, what did I do in those past lives in terms of careers or jobs or like a goal that I had in mind? Then we have the 5 of Pentacles reversed, which is overcoming hardship. Makes total sense, right? Because we were talking about gaining stability. Okay. Then we have the Page of Pentacles. Once again, makes sense. We have that youthful energy here, just like the Page of Swords. But this is someone who's exploring a new business idea or exploring like a new career or job-related thing, because Pentacles are the suit of those things in life. And then let's grab the last one here. We have the Six of Wands. Beautiful. And the Six of Wands, my friends, is the card of victory. Okay, whatever it is, your spirit guides and spirit in general want you to know that this will be successful because of that Six of Wands. That's literally the card of, I have my laurel crown, I have my accolades, I've got my trophy, I get public recognition for something. That's especially another really key factor in the quality or like the energy of the Six of Wands is, I am publicly lauded for this thing. Yeah, it's definitely, I think, a business idea for a lot of you because of the Page of Pentacles. And then 2, with the Five of Pentacles reversed, you're being like extra encouraged to go towards this path because it will provide the stability you're looking for. Because, as I said, the Page of Pentacles reversed, or I'm sorry, not page, the Five of Pentacles reversed here at the beginning with the 2 little creepy looking gremlin things, is literally, I had a hardship, especially in finances or career, and I overcame it. Okay, so if I had to whittle down exactly what this is tangibly for most of you, yeah, definitely like a business related thing. And then the, like literally the person in this Page of Pentacles is, the character is like a love god, but he carries like these love potions on his belt, you can see here. And so it makes me think once again, like a lot of you, it might be beauty related. Like related to helping people feel more confident, or like some of you, it might be like a dating coach thing, helping people get together, hence the love god with the Page of Pentacles here. I almost wonder, it's like beauty or dating, or it could also be something related to I'm trying to think of like other synchronicities I'm seeing here. But I think in general, it's like you help people feel more confident in themselves. Like no matter what it is you're tangibly like thinking of doing, that's like the main purpose behind it for all of you or most of you. Okay. So whatever that is, if you've been hesitating, pile 3, your spirit guides are basically saying, please don't hesitate. Like this would be a really, really good idea for you, especially if you're trying to move towards where you are appreciated more and where you do get like compensated in a better way. And you know, you don't have to be around that energy that you were around before with whoever that person was, whoever that that negative person that we had described in the very beginning was. Like I said, a lot of you, I think, yeah, was it like a friend I had mentioned? I think it was a friend of some sort, but you freed yourself from that energy. Yeah, you would do a lot better here. Okay, so don't doubt that. Go with your goal. All right. And also, too, if you're looking for any, like, synchronicity symbolisms, because you have the mirror that popped up in 2 different cards, I would look for symbols related to mirrors in your day-to-day life. That might be signs from your spirit guides. I do tend to see that a lot with symbols that pop up repeatedly in tarot readings like this. That, or like if you are doing a career related thing, it's very possible that, say it's like a new company that you're trying to build, or like if you're trying to decide on a university, there might be some sort of symbolism in like their logo or something in their name that's like related to mirrors. I know it sounds weird, but sometimes these symbols come up in really odd places in our lives, and we're like, well, that doesn't make sense at the time that we're told that, and then by the time that symbol comes around in our tangible life, we're like, oh, okay, now it clicks. Now that makes sense. So yeah, look for that. I think that's the only symbolic synchronicity I'm finding here. But yeah, just in general, pile 3, there's just a lot better pastures in the future here for you, away from this toxic energy that was at the very beginning there. You deserve to be appreciated. And 2, you know, if this really is something that, say, it's like you helping people build their confidence or feel better about themselves too, it's like helping them feel more appreciated as well. Okay. That would be a really good direction to go in. Or if you're already thinking of a company or business or idea that helps people do that and helps them feel more confident, then that's just like a double confirmation that that's exactly what your spirit guides are kind of nudging you towards, okay? Beautiful. All right, stability is in your future, pile 3. Actually, you really already did the hard work. You already did the hard thing by walking away and freeing yourself. Or if you're right on that precipice, you're doing the right thing right now, okay? So just know that. That's what Spirit wanted you to know today, as well as your spirit guides. Beautiful. All right, so that was your mystery topic reading for today, pile 3. Thank you so much for joining me today for that reading and watching all the way through. And, you know, if you liked it, if it helped you, if it resonated, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. And thank you as well for that if you choose to do any one of those 3 things or more. And as we say in our traditional Lone Pine Tarot, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, full of prosperity and blessings. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye, pile 3.